We are entering a world with 8 billion people this decade, inhabiting a globally interconnected civilization aligned with changes on a planetary scale, recognizing that human population has skyrocketed over 400% since World War I, 1 century ago, in the lifetimes of our oldest living relatives. Crossing thresholds unlike any in human history, considering our common future, there is great responsibility for decisions that operate in the face of change. With such responsibility that belongs to all of us, science diplomacy has been accelerating as an international, interdisciplinary, and inclusive process involving informed decision-making to balance national interests and common interests for the benefit of all on Earth across generations. To restate the obvious, at the levels of peoples, nations, and our world, there is a continuum of urgencies to address, from security timescales, mitigating the risks of political, economic, and cultural instabilities that are immediate, to sustainability timescales, balancing environmental protection, economic prosperity, and societal well-being across generations. With this observation, introducing definition to avoid jargon, informed decisions operate across a continuum of urgencies. Children and even young adults living today, our children and grandchildren, will be alive in the 22nd century. As a scalable proposition, for each of us as individuals, the continuum of urgencies is like driving on any road, constantly adjusting to the surrounding vehicles and circumstances while being alert to the red lights ahead and traffic behind. The Arctic that we can observe and measure is crossing environmental thresholds where there are boundaries of systems are changing. In the ocean and on land, with the sea ice and permafrost respectively, these environmental state changes are unambiguous. In the Arctic today, now, and without projecting into the future, the risks of instabilities are inherent with these marine and terrestrial ecosystems. Fortunately, we have science, which can be characterized as the study of change, with international and interdisciplinary inclusion involving the natural sciences and social sciences, as well as indigenous knowledge, all of which characterize patterns, trends, and processes, albeit with different methodologies, that become the bases for decisions. Informed decision-making starts with questions, where each of us has the capacities to contribute as both observers and participants, convening dialogues among allies and adversaries alike to build common interests. There also is opportunity to champion the momentum of the common Arctic issues of sustainable development and environmental protection established by the 8 Arctic states and 6 Indigenous peoples organizations with the Arctic Council in their 1996 Ottawa Declaration. Arctic sustainability involves governance mechanisms highlighted by the 3 binding agreements that have emerged from the Arctic Council task forces since 2009. With the Arctic Economic Council, there also is recognition about the fundamental importance of built infrastructure, which is characterized by technology and capitalization with goods, services, and markets. Together, the sustainability of the Arctic, as elsewhere on Earth, involves effective coupling between the governance mechanisms and the built infrastructure. The Arctic is special for humanity, introducing hope and inspiration with the North Pole as a pole of peace, as envisioned by Mikhail Gorbachev in his famous 1987 Murmansk speech. Our common journey to operate across a continuum of urgencies fundamentally involves next generations on a global scale, stimulating educational initiatives like the University of the Arctic, evolving as a globally interconnected civilization with knowledge and lessons of the 20th century, that nationalism breeds global conflict. Together, we can contribute to informed decision-making, balancing national interests and common interests to develop the Arctic for the benefit of all on Earth across generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much indeed.